All right. Well, again, I just want to thank you all for joining us today, June 11th, for this webinar. We have great speakers lined up from Florida Extension. So I'm going to let you guys give an introduction to your topic and yourselves, if that's okay with you.
Okay, that's great. Can you see everything? Okay.
Yep, it looks great. Thanks again for being here.
Okay. Hopefully everything will work correctly throughout the entire presentation today. I just got a new computer at work. My name is Bill Lester. I'm with University of Florida Extension Service in Hernando County, which is in West Central Florida. And Wendy.
Sure. I'm Wendy Wood. I'm the state specialized agent in family and consumer sciences with a specialty in chronic disease prevention and management. And I'm located on the East Coast in St. Augustine, Florida.
And our other helper, Dr. Yilin Zhang, I think is on here, but
Oh, yay. Good.
she's lurking in the background somewhere. So what we're going to talk about today is how we've been using YouTube for extension. And this is all about our YouTube channel for the Central District of Florida, which is a group of 11 counties that stretches right across Florida, right in the middle of it. So there is our required and justice for all slide. And what we're going to be talking about today between myself and Wendy is how we launched the channel, a little bit about the history of the channel, its timeline, our relaunch strategy and evaluation, and some of our successes that we've had, some of our challenges, and a few lessons that we've learned. So if you're in the process of doing this or thinking about doing this, maybe it'll give you, a couple little tips and tricks and for you to go out and start your own YouTube channel, whether it be for just your county or for your district in your state. So a little bit about the timeline for this YouTube channel. The University of Florida Central District YouTube channel was started way back in 2009, and that is before I was even with Extension. And from 2010 to 2013, a lot of content was created and put on here. They had a large number of videos, and they kind of, whoever was running it or handling it kind of lost interest, and not much was done with it. Obviously, the videos were still up there. They were still getting views. They were still teaching people. The information was still being shared, but not a lot was being done with the YouTube channel. So here's a screenshot of some of the highest ranking videos from that time period. And you can see kind of the perpetual #1 video has always been Fertilizing Palm Trees by Jim Davis, who's with Sumter County Extension. And over the years, it's gotten over 103,000 views. This is for a couple different reasons. It has a really good to the point title. If anybody goes online and Googles, how do I fertilize my palm trees? Chances are his video is going to show up very high in search and people watch it. And it's a very practical video. And you see some of the other titles, Growing Pomegranates, Central Florida Vegetable Gardening. These are all basic topics that people would be interested in learning more about. And when they search online for them, our videos show up and they watch them. So these videos over the years, even though not much was being done with the channel, we're still getting a lot of views. And to this day, they still get a lot of views. So several years ago, our central district director asked me if I could go through all the videos on the YouTube channel and double check them to make sure that they're still accurate, make sure they still work. None of them are, broken links or bad videos, and check the recommendations, especially pesticide recommendations, to make sure that they're still current, nothing is out of date, we're not giving out any bad recommendations or information. So I thought, this is great. Wow, he's asking me to go through and double check and verify these. I did have help with 4-H and FCS videos because I didn't really feel qualified to say whether they were still accurate or not. So went through, started watching the videos, double checking for them. And after a while, it was a lot of videos. It wasn't all that exciting necessarily. I did find a few that were cut off partway through, one or two of them where the sound was just really, really bad. So I did delete a few videos, but really only a very few that were in there. And by the time I was done, there was a lot of videos I'd watched that had way too many voices spinning in my head, I guess. So we'll let Wendy talk a little bit about some of our goals for relaunching and being asked to kind of take over the channel and reinvigorate it.
Thanks, Bill. And, one thing to think about, as Bill kind of illustrated through those images, is that it takes time whenever reviewing and editing, and that's part of something we'll mention a little bit later. But so in the beginning, Bill and I were actually asked to serve as the social media on the social media committee. And so back in 21, we reached out to Dr. Benj, who's at the University of Florida, and he facilitated a focus group with our county faculty within the Central District. So we wanted to see what some of their top needs were and how, and so what we identified during that focus group is a lot of the things that we're gonna be talking about today, and that's creating a short educational video, how to increase engagement with your audience. Also, some marketing opportunities. So that might be not only for a workshop, but marketing the Central District as a whole, like as a resource to our communities. And another one was understanding the analytics. And that's something that I am still working on. That's why Bill's going to cover that section today, and how to evaluate. That's always important in our extension work and what we do. So we wanted to learn, okay, how can we have this outreach, increase it, but also it be a good use of our time in getting back the evaluation data. So what we did is, as Bill mentioned, we started looking at some of the videos that we had already on hand and what we could leverage with what that group of videos, and how to use this platform to promote classes while providing education. And we also wanted to, again, devise that strategy to be able to evaluate. Next, please. And so our in the last couple of years, our district director has tasked us with building a network. So if you think of a network on television, you think, okay, well, I know at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, this show comes on, or 7 o'clock on a Wednesday, this comes on. So we wanted to begin to develop this network. So that's why we're calling it our Central District YouTube network. We hope it'll be a full network. It'll probably take a few years, but we'll get there. But we wanted to be able to add consistent content, so viewers could join a program on a Tuesday and know, hey, it's either going to be this specific expert, or it's going to be a specific content area at that time and date every week, every other week, or whatever the schedule may be. And we recruited some new county faculty to help us with this building of the network. So to build this, we had to first build an internal committee or community, and then starting to build our online platform. Next, please. Okay, so you can see here, we wanted to look at different approaches to producing content, because there's a lot of things that you can do to create content. If you even just Google how to create content, you're going to find so many different options. But we focused on YouTube Shorts, and these are super easy to create. If you have a cell phone, that's all you need. They are very simple. You do have to download the YouTube app if you're using it from your phone. There is a creation tool, which makes it a lot easier, and that's actually built into the platform. And it's great for marketing, great for gardening quick tips. And these are going to be videos that you are going to need to record vertically. Now, do you have to use the YouTube app to do this? If you want to post it directly, yes, but if not, you can just record videos this way, the vertical way, to begin with. So anything else that is turned into the horizontal format, that's going to be considered either a short or long form video. So that's the difference between the shorts. And if you've gone to YouTube lately, you'll see the shorts usually on the top. It's very similar to like Facebook Reel or Instagram Reels, or I don't know what they're called on Facebook.
TikTok.
Or
TikTok.
similar to TikTok. You got it. So again, those are super easy to create. So another type of content that we are looking for is the long form video. And this is probably most common in extension. Typically long form content is anything around 5 minutes or longer. And again, it's pretty common for extension videos because we're teaching a class, we may record it and just post it on our channel. So a short form video can be anywhere between that 30 seconds and 2 minutes. So I know that's similar to our shorts. However, the thing that's different is going back to which way you're holding your phone to record the video, or let's say if you're using an iPad or another device. So the short form content, and that again is going to be between the 30 and 2 minute, where shorts has that 3 minute limit now. And so you could even take, let's say, a long form class that you've recorded and then chop it up into segments to get shorter form. It'll probably still be a long form content, but at least in smaller chunks, especially for adult learning. And then we had finally the live content. So YouTube Live, Bill really, he got me in there good because I'm not a big fan of like going live, but I'm enjoying it now. So YouTube Live allows you to record videos in real time. It's really cool because it can offers engagement with whoever's joining you live. You can chat, you can add reactions, so people can send you hearts to let you know they're loving your content. And in this, you can do short or long-term live, long form live content. So this can be weekly, monthly, or just a one-time episode, but you would schedule those out, and Bill can probably speak a little bit more to scheduling. I know that if someone's following your channel, at the top it might say premiere, and you might have a video that's going to be coming soon, almost like a little commercial. All right, next. Now, I have to first say these are two examples of YouTube Live. And first is the virtual plant clinic with our very own Dr. Bill Lester. And I have to commend Bill. I don't know if you've ever joined him. It's every Thursday at 10 a.m. I got that right?
Almost every Thursday. Sometimes
Almost every
schedules
Thursday.
don't quite work out. So
sometimes that happens. But the fact that he's been doing this, okay, almost every Thursday, but for over 5 years. Can you believe it? I just
time
think
flies.
like it does. And so again, it's a live Q&A for questions, for consumer questions, and you've had some guest speakers, quite a few guest speakers on to kind of be there to answer questions. Then the next is we had 17 lives, and this was food systems in season. So this was part of building our network. So Bill and we schemed a little bit and got some good ideas for creating something that we could do to engage all of our program areas in extension in our central district, to give people opportunities to try doing something live and online, maybe for the first time. But it was a way for us to engage our community, but across the entire central district. So Food Systems in Season was born, and it really was such a fun experience. We had a great opportunity to hit some of our goals that we had mentioned earlier, to facilitate a space for not only cross-county collaborations. We had consistent content. Typically, they were four sessions in a series. I think we missed one. It might have been due to a hurricane. And also, it was just a really cool venue to promote our programs within our district as well. And so Bill and we did the cold call. We just reached out to the experts that we knew in our district and invited them to participate. And we typically, again, would have about 2 experts presenting on a variety of topics. We had hydroponics, we had growing and cooking with sorrel, should you buy a goat, reducing food waste, gardening, bay scallops, backyard chickens, water quality. And at the end of each season, we did a panel of all of our experts. They would all come back and do a Q&A. Again, 17 lives with our food systems in season and countless with the virtual plant clinic. So that's helping to build that network. Next, please. So this past year in January, next, please, we wrote a small little, I guess, a proposal to our district director, and we asked for some additional funds. So we held a one-day training, which the training itself didn't cost a thing. It was one day in person in Sumter County, Florida. And what we did here is we introduced the importance of planning out a video using a variety of planning sheets. Bill brought a few, I brought a few. We looked up storyboard templates, and we just said, hey, just choose what works best for you. And the purpose of this is, so the planning sheets and storyboard templates are all extremely important. Does it take time? It does. But I will tell you, it makes the quality of your video so much better. It's going to help you deliver the content. It provides you a visual roadmap, scene by scene, to make sure you're showing what it is that you're trying to convey to your audience. You also want to include your scripts, and that's essential, especially, or at least have an outline or topics that you want to cover. With our scripts, I know in extension we might have one, but then we kind of go off script a little. But it really does help you to stay on track and making sure that you're using the right examples when presenting. Also, planning is essential for actually getting the goal that you're trying to achieve or that your video is trying to achieve. You want to make sure you have a specific thing that you are wanting your audience to do. Is it read more education? Is it plant a tree? Is it, I don't know, water wise, be water wise. And after planning, so what we did that day is, you can see one example on the screen of Jamie and Hannah, and they came up with some really creative shorts. So we gave everyone time to plan in pairs and to create a short form content or a YouTube short, and then come back and share it with the group. It was so fun. I thought it was good that we did it in pairs, simply because I think it gave us an opportunity to just be silly, have fun, but educate. And so everyone was able to share. And at the close of the training, we did develop a 6-month calendar of commitments. So who's going to do what, when. So we had this content calendar ready to go. And before they left, next slide, we were able to use the money to purchase some items that would be helpful in video production. Are they required? No. Outdoor light works beautifully, especially if you're out in the garden. There's so many, in most cases, there's tons of color, sunshine, and I think that's all you need, and a simple phone can record the videos you need. But we did have a few things that we could purchase to enhance. So similar to the microphone I have today, we were able to buy microphones, which is great for voiceovers if you are pre-recording. It's good quality. Then the softbox lighting, I'm a big fan of the softbox because I wear glasses, and the ring lights tend to hold little rings in my glasses if I'm using those. So I love the softbox lights. And then we did purchase some lapel mics that would be able, if you're out in the garden and you wanted to be able to put one on and record good video, that was one way we did that. We also had some pop-up green screens. They weren't quite that large as you see on the screen here. And then also a sturdy tripod. So everyone had the equipment They had their phone, which can go on the tripod if needed, and they are ready to go. All you need next is just the idea. Okay, next, please. All right, Bill.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about YouTube analytics, and that is a really, really big topic. Didn't want to get too deep into all the different analytics that YouTube provides, but if you're running a YouTube channel, you can gather a huge amount of information from the behind the scenes, but you can't gather everything. And there's certain information that we with Extension would normally gather that you just can't do with YouTube. So we'll kind of cover what you can gather information wise and analytics wise and what you can't. So some of our analytics, and this was as of January 2025, we had 192 videos on the channel. Like I said, a number of them are still from the older group. We haven't taken them down. We're thinking about taking some of them down, the ones that just haven't performed that well over the years, but they're still there. And we started off with 2,823 subscribers. So we have the luxury of not having to start something with 0 subscribers. We already had a good start. And as of January, the videos had 805 views in the last 28 days. You can very easily on YouTube pick whatever time period you want and find out how many views you've gotten grand total, how many views per video. YouTube is very, very good and easy to operate that way. Our food systems in season, we had 17 of those live episodes. And then the virtual plant clinic, which I do most Thursdays and have done for 5 years. I just started maybe a year or so ago, also broadcasting that on our YouTube channel. I use a platform called StreamYard to do that with, and you can stream it live to a number of different platforms. So it does go to our office's Facebook page. That's where most people view us from, but it also goes to our Central District YouTube channel now for more live viewers and also more after the fact views. Because remember, if you're doing something live, ideally you do have people join you and watch live. And the nice thing about that is there's a way for them to actually ask questions and you can answer their questions face to face in real time there, but then it stays on the platform as a video, and over time it's just viewed more and more and more times by more people. So if you look kind of behind the scenes on YouTube, this is numbers for a time period from January, beginning of 2025 until just recently, the end of May 2025. And you can see that Jim Davis, his video fertilizing palm trees, still #1 after all these years. Tells you how many views it got, 649 views, the watch time. So just because somebody clicks on a video doesn't mean they're going to watch the entire thing. And some videos are very short, other ones are very long. You can easily find the total amount of watch time, number of new subscribers over that time period. And it's something that you can use to get an idea of how healthy and how successful your channel is doing, and that's impressions and then click-through rate. So if you've ever been on YouTube and you're on YouTube and you're just scrolling through, you see the thumbnails for all these different videos. Every time you see a thumbnail from somebody's video, that's an impression. So generally YouTube is serving that up to you based on what YouTube thinks that you're interested in. If you just watched a bunch of lawn and garden related videos, YouTube knows, they're looking for lawn and garden information. They're going to serve you up even more, hoping that you're going to find things that you want to watch. The goal of whether it be YouTube, Facebook, any of these services, is to keep you on their platform for as long as they can. So every time you're served up and you see somebody's video, somebody's thumbnail for their video, that's an impression. If you click on it, that's your click-through rate. That means that you actually saw the thumbnail, you decided that looks really interesting, I want to watch this video. You click on it and you begin watching it. You may drop off after just 10 seconds. You may watch it all the way through. There's other places where you can find analytics on that about how long people stay on the video or what percentage of it they watch, because you want people to stay on and watch the whole thing, not just drop off very quickly. But that's another analytic that you can keep track of to see how your channel is performing overall. So you can also look at where your viewers have come from and how many views you've gotten from. This is over, I'm not sure what time period it is, but total number of views was 6,125. And what percentage of them came from external sources? What percentage came from YouTube search? You know, YouTube search is the second largest search engine in the world. Google is number one, and YouTube is number two, and Google owns both. So if anybody is Google searching, for example, how do I fertilize my palms? They're going to show them websites and information and maybe blog posts, but they're also going to show a set of videos because Google owns Google, the Google search engine, and also owns YouTube also. They want you to go to either one or the other to keep you on their platform for as long as they can. So if you're interested in seeing where else your viewers might be coming from, this is a really good way to figure that out.
Bill, I was going to tell you that was traffic sources from 2025.
Okay, so that was for all of 2025.
Yep, and same for this.
Okay, so this is the channel content, and this is for our newer videos that have been created more recently and posted, so very easy to see how they are doing. I don't think Extension Agent Calvin Gardner from Orange County is on here, but he's been doing a great job putting together relatively short videos. You see he's got the number one, the Florida Gardening 101, and the bottom one there. Anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes long, shows live outdoors, how to start a vegetable garden, how to take care of it, different important points with that. Very, very good thumbnails. He actually has been able to work with Orange County. Orange County includes city of Orlando, so a very large, populous county. Working with people in their county, they create his thumbnails for him, so they look very good, professional. We have somebody else who has started a podcast, the Let's Talk Some Dirt podcast. So we're actually able to put that on here also. So YouTube, whether it's a podcast, whether it's something very short, vertical or horizontal, you can put them all on here. And they're all off to a very good start and doing well.
Hey, Bill, you keep mentioning thumbnail. What is a thumbnail?
A thumbnail, let's see if I can go back here, is a little graphic that you make and you put at the very beginning of your video. So that way, when you upload it, when the whole world is scrolling along, they're going to see the thumbnail or graphic that you have for it. So for example, the top one there, Florida Gardening 101 soil prep, that's a JPEG thumbnail that was created because I'm the one who gets to upload all these things. You upload the thumbnail, and when people are going in YouTube, that is what they see. If you don't include a thumbnail, and you don't have to, YouTube will pick a view to show the world when they're scrolling through. So the third one there, Grow Bok Choy Like a Pro in Florida, they did not give me a thumbnail. So then YouTube picked what it wants to show. So you see, it's a fine picture. Somebody cooking bok choy in a frying pan, but there's no information about who it's from, who is giving it, nothing else. So putting together attractive, consistent thumbnails goes a long way towards catching people as they're scrolling to hopefully get their attention, make them stop and click on it and follow through. There is an entire science and art to creating thumbnails, creating descriptions, all the other technical parts of YouTube. So like I said, with analytics, this is from the first part of this, or January 1st till May 27, 2025, first part of this year. you can see that we've got 88,000 impressions. So our videos have been served up 88,000 times. 63% is from YouTube recommending that content. That's pretty good. If you look at any of these numbers and you're wondering, is that number good? Is that number terrible? I don't know. I'm not sure. Just Google it. There's a lot of information on there about what industry standards are. And if your number, like the click-through rate is 2.9% good, it'll tell you it's good, tell you it's terrible, you need to work on it, and you'll get an idea of how you fit in with everybody else on YouTube. So that 2.9% click-through rate was how many people saw one of our videos and actually clicked on it. And I checked over just the last month, the click-through rate has gone up to 3.9%. So that's obviously a good indication, a good analytics showing that we're moving in the right direction. Number of views from those impressions, 2.5K. The average view duration is just shy of 3 minutes. If all of our videos were 1 hour long, that's not very good. If a lot of our videos were only 3 minutes or so long, that's probably pretty good. So it's kind of relative whether that's a good number or not. And you can always just track the watch time. You can do it from impressions. You can do the grand total watch time. Basically 126 hours of watch time. That's pretty good. That's a lot of people watching a lot of our videos.
And I wanted to
Wendy, I
add,
think you have some successes here so far.
I do, but I wanted to go back to what you were saying about the, I believe it was the click-through rate and how you can look at industry standards. I feel like in extension, we all have to create our own baseline when it comes to getting started. So don't feel like you have to compare. For us, I thought that 1% increase in click-through rate was awesome. That was a good start for us. And as we're going through this today, even I'm thinking, ooh, okay, I know some other goals we need to set. We want to, intentionally set for subscribers now. But we'll get to that part. What's next? But some of our successes is our very own Yilin. If you can see her on the bottom there, she was in our food systems in season doing, I believe she was showing us about a water sample, but Yilin, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I would say our biggest successes, we had a lot of interest. This new round of YouTube videos, the collectively getting together as a district, we had a pretty successful training, I would do say, because we are getting content from that. It has given us an opportunity really to create new content, new forms of content, building our viewership, small increments, but I feel like there's some things we can do even better. But we've also improved some of our thumbnails, and that's even checking out Bill's virtual plant clinic. His photos are so engaging. You're like, what's he looking at? What's he checking out on that plant? It's much more enticing than just a simple title. And then we've also improved some of our descriptions and to be able to say, hey, this is what you can get out of this particular video if you choose to watch. So for us, I think we've had some really great successes. And let's go on to the next slide. So you can see that in the past 28 days, and I pulled this yesterday, so you can see we have 197 videos, which isn't that much growth, but here, like Bill had mentioned, we've been cleaning house a little bit. So it's not really a good reflective count of our actual growth because we've been taking away, archiving, etc. We've had just in the last 28 days, 959 views, 43.8 hours of watch time. And again, this was just as of yesterday. So it's pretty exciting. And those analytics are pretty simple to pull. It's when you go a little bit deeper that I have to call for Bill and Yilin.
And there's a lot of information out there. YouTube has a lot of information. YouTube has tutorials about analytics and how to do all the behind the scenes, how to set up your page for success.
Yes.
Everything that you need to know.
And I didn't put it here, but we do have 33 new followers too.
That's great.
It is great. All right. And then passing it over for lessons learned because we've got lots of them.
And this is all generally positive. These are just some things that we've had, I don't want to say issues with, but that we've, maybe struggled with a little bit or are working on improving. When we first put this together, we had kind of mixed buy-in from faculty. Some people were very interested, very excited, ready to jump on board. Other people not as excited. Some people, it's like, well, I've always done things this way. I'd rather just keep doing them the way I've been doing them. I think that kind of goes with any new idea with extensions. Some people are going to be a little bit more interested in giving it a try than other people would be. Even with all the amazing analytics that you can gather from YouTube, there are certain bits of information that you cannot gather. One of them is demographics for viewers. So with more traditional extension programming, if you go to, let's say, a library, you teach a class on vegetable gardening, and there's 20 people there, you may have a sign-in sheet, you may have boxes for them to check off so you can gather their demographics, you can get their name, you can get their email, you may hand them out a pretest, a quiz, some form for them to fill out and ask them nicely if you can fill this form out. It really helps us. And you can gather that they learned something, that they intend to go home and implement it. With YouTube, it's not that easy for that. You can always tell how many people have watched your video, how long they watched it for, but you can't find out who, and there's no way for you to contact them after the fact. This is something that we have already spoken with other extension specialists about, and we're going to work with them as soon as we build the audience up a little bit larger and put more consistent videos out there and build up our community that's following us and watching us. What are some different things that we could try doing to actually measure the impacts of the videos? So we are going to be working on evaluation strategies, because right now there are no easy, surefire, clear-cut, already used ideas that we know of anybody else has used. We have tried to have people click and fill out polls and this and that when we're doing lives. And you can get some of the people who are there with you live, but the people who join you afterwards watching the recording of it, it's a little bit tougher to get them to click on a link and actually give you feedback or give you a way to measure the impacts of it. We are always working on the technical best management practices, things like writing really good, effective titles, kind of short and very much to the point, so people know when they see that title what is going to be included in it. Descriptions, you always want to put a good, clear description about what people can expect to learn from your video, and be honest, don't clickbait them, don't promise them the world and your video doesn't perform. Otherwise, they're not going to watch more of your videos. Thumbnails, like I said, Canva, for anybody who's on Canva or proficient with Canva. I know Wendy did all of ours for Food Systems and Season, and they looked absolutely beautiful. In Canva, it's not that difficult to put together a good set of matching thumbnails. Like I said, good, clear descriptions. We really encourage everybody to also give us links that we could put in the description, because if they're making videos, we want them to promote anything else they're doing. Promote your Facebook page. If you write blogs, include the link to go for people, if they watch your video and like it, maybe they want to read your blogs also. Maybe they want to go to wherever you have a listing of your upcoming classes, activities, workshops. Maybe they want to get involved. Maybe they want to follow you. You need to put links in there so that people can do that and actually start to follow you. And tags are something else that when you're uploading a video, you can include, and it's like, I think a maximum is really high, like 50 tags. So any other keywords that would go along with your video. So if the video is gardening 101, starting a vegetable garden, you could put in vegetable garden. Another tag would be Florida vegetable garden. Another tag would be Florida gardening. Just think all the different words that if people are searching for them, your video would fit the bill. And that really helps people if when they're searching to end up ideally on your video. So Wendy, we'll let you kind of finish up with what's next, what we're working on in the future.
Well, it's super exciting. And I wanted to go back, like, talk about the thumbnails. We did reach out to YouTube to be able to utilize their logo within our created thumbnail for Food Systems in Season. So just keep those steps in mind. And what we plan on next is we want to continue to build our participation in the video development and education outreach. And so our team is working really hard to improve our consistency in posting to build that network that we so hope to see. And we're going to continue adding in additional YouTube shorts and create short form video content from our existing videos that we already have, the ones that we aren't going to archive. And then also engagement. Like, we want to enhance our engagement. So if you notice, think back to the analytics. I don't know if you guys can recall some of those, but the picture of the bok choy, it had the highest views because, again, it's got that a little bit of an engagement piece, essentially, because we're saying, hey, don't you want to go cook this? Or do you want to grow this? Depending upon what your image is. We need to add in more call to actions. So basically what a call to action is, today, when you get off our webinar, we want you to go and Google how to set up your YouTube account, or who is your YouTube contact at your university. That would be a call to action. We were meeting with one of our evaluation specialists, and he had recommended really connecting to some sort of pledge, like I pledge to, oh goodness, let's say walk 10 minutes every day as a just random example. And so they would put in their email and commit their pledge. So we would at least have that capture their contact information to be able to reach out to them as well. Hooking your audience early. I put in the chat earlier, what is it that keeps you watching a video? What causes you to go to the next? Think about how can you hook your audience in that first few seconds, if not the first few minutes at the most. Did anybody recall the amount of, like, what the average watch time was for our videos?
I think about 3 minutes.
Yeah, about 3 minutes. So think shorter content. So if they're only going to be watching for 3 minutes, you've got to do something to really get the hook. And then another one we haven't explored yet is the YouTube community tab. And so what this is, it's actually in the platform of YouTube, and it's one of the little tabs they offer there. And what the platform does is it allows for interaction, polls. But again, we have not explored this too much, but I think it's an opportunity to look into. And part of that call to action is we want you today, on the next slide, please, Bill. We want you to scan this QR code and subscribe to our page. So that is a call to action. And so this is the start of a new goal, right? Call to actions. Here's our first one, Bill. I'm sending you a virtual high five.
We're getting some good practice in today.
Yes, we are. So I see Kelly has a question about, are tags part of SEO, or is that two different things? I don't know if tags are included. I mean, tags are a part of SEO. I'm not certain if it's this exact same thing.
Tags would be a component of SEO because they are designed to help search engines find your material and match you up.
Yeah. That makes sense. So that's kind of where we started. I think the big thing too with our channel is making sure you're going through the right channels within your universities too. If you're creating your channel to represent your university or the volunteer program. So do reach out to your county faculty or agent and to get started. But it is so fun. I encourage you guys. I've had a blast working with Bill in order to go live you know,
The,
that's
the
really
live
important.
live classes are a lot of fun,
They are.
especially if you get, people that you already know and work with, or you
Yeah.
kind of connect with. And
Mhm.
then especially if you have viewers watching, I can tell you from the virtual plant clinic that I've done for since the very, very beginning of COVID, I have people who have joined every time we go on for years, and they ask questions, and it really does build a little community, because anything that you're doing with social media, your main goal is to build community. You're building community, you're building followers. They're the ones who are going to show up to your in-person classes. You're going to show up to your online classes. When you capture their contact information, once you figure out a way to do that, they're going to respond to your surveys and ideally learn something from you. And that's kind of well, what it's all about, I guess.
Great question in the chat. It says, do you feel like the virtual plant clinics cut down on the questions you receive through email or phone?
No, goodness knows I still get plenty of questions. The phone is turned down all the way, but it normally rings all the time. I get lots and lots of emails. And that, because when you build your community bigger, you end up getting more and more questions. That's kind of the downside of it, I guess. But the goal of it was, at the very beginning of COVID, we all had to go home, which was great. I loved working from home. And we're thinking, well, the people who would normally come to the office with a question or call us, what can we do so that they could still ask us their questions? So that was the main goal of it. So we get questions from them, but unfortunately, it doesn't cut down on the other questions.
Yeah, the capacity was exactly what they were thinking too. I know each of our universities are going to have different components for what's allowable and not allowable with AI, but I highly recommend you utilizing that as an opportunity to respond, to set up workflows, to be able to answer questions, because this is such a cool way. People recognize you, they recognize your voice, they recognize, and I never believed this because I don't like being on screen so much. But I remember I had a colleague at one of our local departments, and he had printed out a big poster of none other than me holding a piggy bank. And I was doing a financial class at the time, and it of course I was embarrassed at first, but what it was is it was identifiable, and he was so right. I had a higher enrollment, I had a higher participation. People get to know you, and that's exactly what Bill has done with the plant clinic. I can guarantee he could probably, not to name names, but he could probably list off several people that are in his community that wouldn't miss it.
Yeah, yeah. So you're famous now, huh?
No, not at all, but it's just a fun way to, again, build your audience. And I have learned that, I know getting started is the hardest part, and it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure your educational information is right. Your hair doesn't have to look good. Make sure you're branded, wearing your university shirts, and it's about the content, getting that content out to the people in our communities. But thank you all for having us.
Thank you
Yes, thank you
guys.
so much.
That was amazing. I'm so excited to learn about like the analytics. So did you say you just Googled like how to start learning how to pull all those data?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, best way to learn it is go on YouTube.
There you go.
If you go
Perfect
on
answer.
YouTube and you just start searching for how to start a YouTube channel, YouTube analytics, there's so much information out there. Pretty much any question you might have or anything you want to learn is right there. It's just a matter of finding it, watching it, practicing with it.
And I just dropped a link in the chat, and it said, and this is from Google
Mhm.
Analytics, and it's start learning about Google Analytics. Are you new? Here's some free courses. So the education is there, but don't let it overwhelm you to get started. Just start. Um,
Exactly. The most important thing is just start, be consistent. So
yep.
try to put things up consistently. I know for individual people who started YouTube, if you're going to do it once a week, do it once a week, the same day every week.
Yeah.
People will start to expect it. For 5 years, for the Thursdays when we're on virtual plant clinic, Thursday morning, 10 a.m. That's never changed. So you have to be consistent. Make sure you tell everybody about it. Whatever channels you use, whether you have a newsletter or Facebook page, however you inform people, put it out there, let everybody know. And it takes time. You have to be patient, but bit by bit, more people will see it. They'll join in, they'll find it. And that's how you go about building your audience and getting more phone calls and emails, I guess.
This has been fantastic. Thank you guys so very much. We really appreciate your expertise, and we're looking forward to diving into this a little bit more.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. We're going to go ahead and drop this quick poll into the chat. Or here, we're going to launch it. You just take a second to answer these 2 quick questions for Ann and I. And then we will see you guys in August for our next webinar. So thank you all so much. And again, have a great day.